election alert. Fox News can now project that President Obama will win the crucial battleground state of Ohio, long considered to be the harbinger for the nation with its 18 electoral votes. Ohio, this was the entire ballgame. A major setback, obviously, for Governor Romney, whose path to 270 electoral votes needed just got considerably narrow, and now we can say that Barack Obama will win Ohio. That is a huge, huge win for Barack Obama.
That's the one we've all been waiting for. And there's a question now about, what does that mean, Pam? I mean, does that mean that...
That's the presidency.
That's
it.
Essentially, Barack Obama is reelected.
Some unbelievable miracle would have to occur in some... I don't see how this isn't going to happen. The president has won re-election. And look, the point should be made here. I mean, I believe that, we all know that incumbency is an advantage, but I believe that it was equally a burden in this election. And I think that his team engineered a campaign that basically overcame that overcame the fact that the economy had not recovered in the kind of way that it needed to, that unemployment rate was still high, that his signature achievement, Obamacare, was unpopular. These were real burdens. And they managed to put together a campaign that overcame that. It's narrow, it's close, and so forth. But they did it, and I think it is a major political achievement, because it wasn't easy.
Want to check in, where are we going? Go to Chris Wallace?
The campaign headquarters. Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry is live at Obama campaign headquarters in Chicago. Ohio, a big win. You can hear them cheering behind you, Ed. Give us the fallout there.
They're almost reaching pandemonium now, Bret, because they feel it. They know the president's now crossed this threshold, despite the fact that unemployment is still hovering near 8%. This president is going to be reelected. They know that behind me. This place has been filling over the last hour or so with more and more people. We're told at this hour the president is getting this information across town at the Fairmont Hotel here in Chicago. He's not here at McCormick Place just yet. He's there with staff. He's there with family. He's greeting them. He's thanking them for what they've done so far. And in case there's any doubt about any of the other remaining states out there, I just spoke to a senior Obama advisor who says that their pollsters are telling them that in Florida, what's left out there looks pretty good for the president. Some counties where they think they'll do well. We don't know that for a fact yet, that it still has to come in, but they're still feeling good that they might be able to get Florida. Obviously, the popular vote's still out there as to whether or not, the president can claim a full mandate or not, Bret.
So, Ed, were they expecting this weight on Florida and this Ohio call? Are you getting immediate reaction? There are still a lot of people out there who haven't called Ohio, but our decision desk is saying that they are confident that we're projecting Ohio for President Obama.
Bret, I can tell you that over 2 hours ago, one of the president's senior-most advisors emailed me and said, it's over. He said, that's off the record right now. Don't want you to go with it, but what we're seeing in our projections, it's over. Obviously, I wasn't going to come out and say that because we had a lot of states that still hadn't been called. But inside the Obama War Room, for at least a couple of hours, they have been privately thinking, feeling, and saying that this was over. And so once we call Ohio here, it's not a huge shock to them inside the war room. And I'm told they've been telling the president all of this information, obviously, over the last couple of hours as he had a family dinner, etc. He's known that he's going to win re-election.
And it was a hard-fought battle for the state of Ohio. And now, as we've told you, Fox News has projected that Barack Obama has won it, and Fox News is projecting that Barack Obama has been re-elected as President of the United States. That Mitt Romney's path to the presidency has now been foreclosed with the loss of Ohio.
Because now we can project that Barack Obama will win Iowa and Oregon. The state of Iowa will go to President Obama, and the state of Oregon will go to President Obama. Now with the state of Ohio, we can now definitively say that President Barack Obama will be re-elected. Mitt Romney will come up a loser in this race. Republicans thought that they had an amazing shot to take down a president who had high unemployment rates, who had a nation that was split over his health care law. They thought that this was the time. This is not the time. Democrats fought back. The Obama campaign running a very aggressive early effort to characterize Mitt Romney as a corporate raider and his time at Bain Capital early in his business career, and portraying that negatively as you look live at Obama headquarters and the cheering there. That worked in a state like Ohio. Also, the auto bailout was hammered by Democrats in Ohio and other states. President Barack Obama will win because his campaign did a good job of campaigning. He will not win because of the state of the economy, but Republicans will look back starting tomorrow and look back at what happened.
And that is what we were told early on in the game, which was the mission on the president's team would be to, quote, kill Mitt Romney and to attack his character and to make people believe that he didn't care about them, that he was a corporate raider, that he was a vulture, a vampire, vulture capitalist. And already we're getting word, within some circles that they're going to question whether Mitt Romney fought back hard enough against that charge, whether we let some of that $100 million worth of negative advertising mount against him unanswered for too long in this campaign in a way that wound up defining him as what the Obama team wanted him defined as opposed to somebody who's devoted a large portion of his life to helping others through his faith, through his church, through his other dealings. I want to get to the panel now for their thoughts. Brit?
Something should be said here about the polls. A lot of us were troubled by state polls that showed pluralities of Democrats voting that we thought approached those of '08, and we didn't think it was possible. It was about, I guess, +7 Democrat in '08. We didn't think it was likely that Obama would do that well. Obviously, overall, the race is closer than it was, much closer than it was. But this is the last sweep of the exit polls that we have in hand. 25,000 person sample. Those identified as Democrat 38. Republican 32, that is +6 Democrats. That is better than we thought, many of us thought he would do, and that tells the story.
Wow, I mean that does, because we've been talking about it so long. Do you believe these polls?
Right.
And so many pollsters said, oh, it's not going to be the same as it was in 2008, and the enthusiasm has waned, and the electorate has changed. And somebody said to me, how many times have you heard a president-elect say, you see, all the polls were wrong?
Well, not tonight. Not tonight.
Oh, well, that's the point. Is that
the point? It's not only that the polls are right, but we were talking about this earlier. Kirsten was talking about this. The methodology, which is based on asking the moderates that Brit was discussing, who do you identify with, Republican or Democrat? Turns out the +6 for the Democrats was exactly on target. I'll say this in addition. I think that when you look at the moderates, the people in the middle, the suburban housewives who I think made the call here tonight for President Obama. In a lot of these issues, the economy, Brit says, it's not because of the economy that the president got reelected, but in fact, when you ask people, do you consider the economy good? Overwhelmingly, they voted for President Obama. But even if you ask them, do you consider the economy not so good? It was advantage Barack Obama 55 to 42. I think that's quite telling. Ask about unemployment. They also thought that Barack Obama better to handle unemployment. Quite a surprise, given how much negative news has come forth about the economy. I think Americans see the economy beginning to recover. And don't forget, we have here also, I think, still an afterbirth of the Bush years. Americans still blaming George W. Bush 50% for what's going on here with the economy in this country.
Yeah, Steve, your thoughts?
Well, I think you're likely to see this big discussion right now inside the Republican Party. And there are basically going to be two camps. There's going to be one camp that says Mitt Romney ran way too far to the right. He tried to be something he wasn't, and in that sense, he did himself in. That's likely to be what we hear from the mainstream media and others. There's another group, and I think it's the stronger group, that says, Republicans don't do as well when they nominate someone who's moderate. In 2008, Republicans nominated John McCain. In 2012, they nominated Mitt Romney, somebody who pushed clearer and harder contrasts, could have been a better candidate against this president. If you look inside these numbers, if you want to just look at one question in particular in the exit polls that gets to sort of core government philosophy, should the government do more to solve problems? 43%. Government is doing too many things better left to business and individuals. 51%. So still a majority of Americans believe that the government is doing too much, that there are too many things that should be left to individuals and businesses. And that comes on a night which is obviously a very good night for Democrats. And if you look again at liberal, moderate, conservative, 25% self-identified liberals, 40% self-identified moderates, 35% self-identified conservatives.